Hi everyone and good morning. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California and it should be a good one because I'm at the Los Angeles Zoo. This is what I've been to once before, but it was about 3 years ago. So I decided to go back in this video. I'm going to show you off all the exhibits and animals you can find here at the Los Angeles Zoo and have a great day. It's a very nice enclosure right as soon as you get into the zoo for harbor seals as well as California sea lions. Pretty good sized enclosure. It does go on for a while. Also right by the zoo entrance you do have the American alligators. It's just like back home in Florida. Here are the meerkats. Interesting how there's two on the top. Crawling that way.
I know.
Heading into the Campo Gorilla Reserve. Big Gorilla Enclosure. Only seeing one at the moment. It's all the way over there. It's definitely a small one. Having a snack.
You see it. It's the lizard.
Let me bring one.
The larger gorillas have come out. And behind the tree. And out of the tree. And finishing it up, the big male silverback has some leaves on his back. Must be disguising himself. Looking at 3 grebe zebra. All the way in the back of the enclosure there, that is a pronghorn. Here's a little bit better view of the pronghorn.
Oh, what's this?
There's no sign over here. I want to say it's probably a Barbarossa.
I don't know the name.
Look at the little tail. That is a greater roadrunner. There's a cute little gazelle posing very nicely. Caught the pecaries at nap time, which is a bummer because they're quite the neat species. That is terrific. One of the pecaries is named Dirt McGirt. The beautiful addax. I mean, look at the horns. Really neat. African painted dog taking a nap. The next exhibit is the red ape rainforest. And there, sliding down, is I believe a female orangutan. I will say this enclosure is very, very nice and feels very modern. I love how they can open up the holes or close up the holes to have the animals wander around or not. The chimpanzee enclosure is very impressive. Really, really big. And you can see a lot of them hanging out on the rocks. Here you can see the zoo's Maasai giraffes. Looks like they have 4 in this enclosure and one big one on the other side of the fence. Looks like this guy's wandering right over to us. Something I really like about their enclosure, they have this height stick right next to it so you can see how tall these giraffes are. Looks like he is probably around 12 to 13 feet. Posing pretty adorably in a bucket. That is a serval. They are a really neat species of wildcat. Off in the distance you can see the beautiful, beautiful okapi. Just really, really neat animals. Actually one of Molly's favorite animals. Unfortunately she couldn't join me on this adventure to the West Coast, but we'll send her a picture of this okapi. Look at all the radiated tortoises. And look at them eat.
It took a stranger to make her believe.
Eating. Oh my goodness. There is an ostrich. Look at, very close to the ostriches. There's also a lesser kudu over there as well.
I'm doing it.
With some very noisy apes chiming in. These are the Chinese gorals up on the way top of the hill. Man, that is a lot of noise those dudes are making. The noisy guys, they are siamangs. You know, Talkins, I don't blame you for getting as far away from the noisy siamangs as you can. I might do the same thing. Just bummed I can't show people how cool you are. Because you guys are very neat. All the way in the back there is a sea eagle, the Stellar sea eagle. And I can't get any closer because that's actually really neat. The area is closed off as it is currently Stellar sea eagle nesting season. So they're giving them a little bit of extra room and peace and quiet. Right at the edge of the enclosure here is the Calamanian deer, and they are found exclusively in the Philippines. The LA Zoo has a lot of kind of like cul-de-sac structures like this, where they'll go in and there'll be a couple of different animals. I haven't shown too many of them just because the fencing really doesn't work well for video. But don't miss this one because they do have a binturong showing in the back of its enclosure. This enclosure here used to be where you would find the hippopotamuses here at the Los Angeles Zoo, but as the sign tells you, both hippos they used to have been relocated to other partner zoos in the AZA for breeding purposes. So that does happen. They'll probably get hippopotamuses back at some point. Check out the horns on this species of goat. There's no signage, so I'm not sure exactly what species it is. If you do know what kind of species of goat this is, let me know in the comment section below. The zoo's tiger is having itself a nap in the shade. There you can see a Francois Langer in the arms of a little baby, and it's on the move. And the view of the lair.
There's a baby! What, there's a baby? There's a baby!
A beautiful species of crane over here. This is the Saurus crane. Here's a species I'm not overly familiar with. It is a mountain tapir native to South America and looks, for lack of a better term, fuzzier than most tapir species. Time to go see the largest animals at the zoo, the elephants of Asia. Another section of the elephant enclosure. Unfortunately, no elephants. The elephant area is pretty large. This is at least the second section they have for elephants, plus the house. But I haven't seen a single elephant yet. Well, it finally happened at viewing spot number 4. Finally saw the elephants. It's a big elephant. Way off in the distance, you can see an elephant with some giant tusks. And just one final shot of the enclosure. Very, very nice elephant enclosure. It is kind of in the center of the zoo with lots of viewing spots all around. Time to head into the Australia section of the zoo. I absolutely love Australian animals, so this should be going. Very appropriate, the first animal you get to is the kangaroo here in the Australia section. I'm hoping with the weather being so pleasant, it's like in the 70s, that a lot of the animals will be pretty active today. Kangaroos have a decent amount of room. It looks like they've got at least 3 in here. They were hopping around as I first wandered over, just wasn't able to catch it on camera. Did take me a bit to find him, but over there you could see the koala. Koalas tend to nap quite a bit, so not surprising to find them napping. They are really cool animals. There's a sign I wish I saw at more zoos. Wombats are awesome. And the wombats at the LA Zoo are inside this big building. The wombat building is very cool, and wombats are most active at night, so they do keep it rather dark in here. And you can sort of make one out right there. Strutting around, doing the tongue thing. Komodo dragon. Very cool. Sharing the enclosure with the koalas is the Tamar wallabies, and they are so cute. There's also an echidna in there, but they would be very difficult to find. Right now it's time to have scratches. This large lizard here, that's a parente. It is native to Australia. And it's very neat. Time to head into the lair, which is amphibians, invertebrates, and reptiles. The lair is a very well themed exhibit. You can see the Gray's monitor.
Don't worry, it's just in a cage. It's okay. Oh, it's big.
Swimming by is a fly river turtle. Also, there are archer fish in here, which are really cool species of fish, as they get spit out of the water to knock down bugs and eat them. A trio of Mexican bearded lizards. I wonder if that guy's gonna go into the hole. So we moved from one building, went outside where there's a couple enclosures, including the California desert tortoise, before moving into the next building, which I believe is a desert building. The desert building, as you would expect, is pretty warm. Not very large, but also well done. The zoo has quite the collection of Gila monsters. And right outside of the desert area is the Thomas Toma. And you can get really close. Kind of frighteningly close. You can see it's big. Really cool nose or mouth. You can see some terrapins underneath the water there. But look at the Indian grill just hanging out of the sun, posing. The next exhibit should be a good one. It's the Rainforest of the Americas. Not the easiest to see with the glare, but that's a caiman lizard. And there's a neat aquarium too with some rays and piranhas. There you can see a giant river otter. They're really cool.
Oh, Deanna. I'm just ahead.
A little better view of the giant river otters. We're getting pretty close to them up here in this uppermost view area. They're so cool.
What's that, Thomas? What's that?
Didn't have the best luck in the rainforest area. The Baird's tapir wasn't out today, and over here is home to a jaguar, which is either hiding or also not out. Right now I'm in a beautiful, beautiful bird aviary. You got the East African crown crane all the way there at the top. A bunch of other species of birds. Spoonbills over there doing their thing. Posing up there on a branch is a harpy eagle. You can get very, very close to the zoo's flamboyance of flamingos. They have a ton of flamingos. I got a couple of them are hanging out in the water. Actually looks more like a duck right now than a flamingo. But yeah, it's wild being so close to so many. Towards the front of the zoo, on the right side, there's a building with a whole bunch of smaller animals and really cute stuff. There's a sloth who was asleep, a tamandua who I couldn't find, and here a perfectly sleeping fennec fox. the white-faced saki monkey, looking good. There is a second tamadua, and this one is active. This enclosure is pretty neat. They got a couple different species of smaller gazelles, or gazelle-type animals. There's a gerenuk, a black duiker, as well as a gazelle. Yeah, near the front of the zoo, there's this very old-feeling section, like a bunch of closed pathways, a lot of exhibits not being used. There's even an entire old petting zoo that's all shut down. So I imagine that when their next big expansion comes along, this very well could be the place they do it. Always pleasant to see zoos expanding. Here at the Los Angeles Zoo, they're building a new Cape vulture habitat. I believe it's going to open next year. For a couple dollars, you can ride the carousel. I think it's $3. All different types of animals on here. Something I do like, if you didn't know what the animals are, on the top it does tell you what kind of animal you are riding on. So if you didn't know, like, oh, that's a pronghorn, all you have to do is look up there, and you learn. And that'll do it for my time here at the Los Angeles Zoo. I had a good time. It's a big zoo. Man, my feet are feeling the walking all over the zoo. Was here for just over 4 hours. I actually think the zoo is a very reasonable zoo price to get into. It cost me like $22 to get in, and if you have a reciprocal membership to a different zoo, then you get half off. So it only cost me $11 to come in here today, and they have a great collection of animals. I think my favorite exhibit was probably, I really like the wombats, and the elephant one's really top-notch. As far as favorite animals, definitely the wombats, but also really enjoyed the mountain tapir. If you have any questions about the LA Zoo, let me know in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching.